Hello, all my lovely people, and welcome to your Virgo new moon reading. The Virgo new moon is coming up on September 6th, and it's going to be climaxing around 6:51 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so wherever you're at in the world, you can adjust that. But I love the Virgo new moon. It is a call to reflect. So where are you right now? Where do you want to go now? What have you realized about your goal or your goals since the last full moon in Virgo, which this year was on February 27th of 2001. There's like a 6-month-ish cycle between, you have a new moon in Virgo, and then you go up to the full moon in Virgo, and then you go back to the new moon in Virgo. And it's this beautiful process of planting new seeds, them growing, you come into this place of harvest, and then as you go back to the new moon, looking at what you're ready to let go of and what you're ready to change. So you can ask yourself, what have you been letting go since the last full moon? And really, now, with it being a new moon, it's a great time for a clever, simple, well-organized, restart. So you can consider perhaps focusing on what you can give to others as you plant these new seeds going forward. Virgos, of course, have a strong health aspect as well. So you might also reflect on what you can give to your body. And that can be your, looking at what seeds you want to plant until the next full moon in Virgo. So I am doing, of course, a reading for each individual zodiac sign. So whichever signs you want to look at, your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus, whatever you want to focus in on, look at a variety of them if you'd like to get a full picture of what this new moon energy is bringing in for you. And we'll go ahead and jump into the reading right now. All right, my Aquarians, this is your reading for the Virgo new moon. And since this was like a call to reflect, we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Empowering Questions. And this is just going to represent what the Creator wants you to possibly ponder, during this new moon period. And this is going to be like the week before the new moon and up to 2 weeks after the new moon, up to the next full moon. So let's take a look here and see what, for our Aquarians, does the Creator want you to know or possibly ponder during this new moon period. All right, Creator, for our Aquarians. Wow. Okay, and they're just said, just take the one. You don't have to have all those questions, even though Aquarians are air signs, so we do get into our heads. I am an Aquarian sun, so I get it. And our question is, am I focusing more on what my life looks like than on what it feels like? So that is kind of a message of getting out of our heads, because when we are, what does it look like? We're using our brain to analyze and determine and go here by all these analysis and our perceptions that I'm seeing through my eyes and my ears and, the 5 senses. We're like, okay, this is what that means then. Instead of looking at it through our heart and through our intuition and through our higher view that we can. So I love that for Aquarians, because it's a good balance that comes in when we don't look at things just through our logical minds, and that we do check in on our emotions. I know Aquarians were able to see the world kind of, because we're the water bearers, we carry emotion in containers, and we're very good at containing our emotions. And sometimes that makes people think that we're unfeeling and cold, kind of like Mr. Spock. Even though he's half human, he keeps his emotions, pocketed until every once in a while it shows itself. But the majority of the time, you stay logical. So this is a good reminder for us during this time to connect to our emotions. Next, we're going to pull some cards here from the Enchanted Map Oracle, and we're going to pull 3 weeks worth. One card will be the week before the new moon. This week will be the week after the new moon, and this is the 2 weeks after the new moon, right before the full moon. So let's give these a good shuffle. And if you're cross-watching for an Aquarian, that's good information to know that we do feel, and we do feel deeply because we have that capacity, but we do also keep it in beautiful, I was going to say Tupperware containers. We keep it for later. We keep it where we look at it through the Tupperware, but we don't often act on feeling, especially feeling alone. All right, creators. So for Aquarians, week 1, week 1, the week before the new moon. Okay. And then the week after the new moon. Okay. And then 2 weeks after the new moon. Okay, I feel like this is the one right here. So the week before the new moon, you've got, Peaks of Joy, and that's master number 33. And this is a beautiful card with the 33 because for me, like master number 11 is all about understanding our ego and our human side. Master number 22 is about understanding that there's more to us than just the human character we play, that there's this actor. And so it's about connecting to your spiritual side. And then master number 33 is like that third level where you learn the balance and having the human, kind of like your human ego side and your spirit side walk hand in hand, able to experience and feel emotion, but also connect to the higher viewpoints on things, which of course you're way, way high up here. And joy is actually like our nature. Our higher self is a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And because of that, our natural state on the other side is joy, is peace and bliss and laughter and those things. And so this, I feel like, with connecting to our feelings, like we're talking about connecting to our higher selves, our intuition, our emotions is where we live. There's this great book called Whole Brain Living, and I love, it's Dr. Jill, I forget her last name, I just call her Dr. Jill because she's such an amazing, hilarious person. And she mentions in that book that we are not thinking beings who feel, we're feeling beings who think. So that helped me understand, that kind of capacity to think, and it reminds me to feel as well. So Peaks of Joy says, your life is filled with happiness, so share it with others. Joy is yours today. No matter what your inquiry, you'll be happy with the results. You're coming closer to a sense of achievement, and you've worked hard for it. You're surrounded by true companions and events that are synchronistically arranged to bring you to the next level of your life. Yep, so you're moving into that 33, balancing the spiritual with the physical. The world is singing a beautiful harmony. Life is exhilarating and hopeful. Let gratitude fill your heart and remember to share your happiness. Joy is contagious. So I love that too. And especially that hopefulness, because in the tarot, the major arcana, the star card, which represents hope and, connection to the higher, seeing things from that higher view, understanding that, we're not on this runaway train, drama train that's going to wreck, but that we're on this beautiful, flowing, like monorail that's on a track with specific stops designed for everything. And the star card represents Aquarius in the deck. So this is definitely up your alley. And then the week after the full moon, you're into the unknown with number 7. Number 7 is a very spiritual number, an inner reflective number. And so you're going into the unknown, which sometimes the unknown is kind of like the high priestess energy where, she's the one that dives deep into the emotions, into the unconscious, the subconscious, which is where we connect to all that gut feeling and the intuition and all that we were talking about. So into the unknown, I really feel like you are going into those deep areas in your life. And let's see. Yeah, it says trust, and all will be revealed. Life is an adventure, and often new opportunities will arise that you won't know how to deal with. And this is one of those times. You're required to trust that this new phase will reveal wonders and miracles as you step into the unknown territory. Imagine that you are not only a pathfinder, but a path maker. Whatever your inquiry, trust that you'll be safe. Stay aware as you discover new and marvelous territories and valuable treasures. And that is so much Aquarian energy too, right? I mean, we are the changers of things. This whole age of Aquarius is beautiful, and it, was sparked off with all this disaster happening across the world, with, worldwide pandemics and uprisings and clashes between all sorts of opposite sides, and floods and fires and earthquakes. All this stuff is happening because the world is being shaken. And you, with your Aquarian energy, are able to take the whole collective of humanity into a new unknown. And so you don't scare away from the unknown. In fact, you like the different, you like the weird and the strange. You don't like doing things the same way over and over and over again. You get bored very easy with all that. And so you are a pioneer. You are the Star Trek, kind of personality where you want to go where no man has gone before. You want to go out there and explore. You don't want to go like, oh, okay, here we go around, the field track in circles. You're like, you'd rather be on an adventure through a forest looking for leprechauns, right? So this is a beautiful time this week after the new moon because a lot of newness is coming for you. And then the second week after the new moon, you've got moonlight. That's card number 51. And definitely this moonlight, of course, this is, the moon, the new moon is starting to get fuller. So this is almost like a perfect picture of what's probably happening during the second week after the new moon towards, towards the full moon, because you're getting fuller and fuller during that time. But I really feel with this moon, again, in the unknown, this is a big time for you to connect to your moon energy. You might even look and see, if you don't know what your moon sign is, if you go to astro.com, that's one site. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but they have this, they offer free birth charts. So I think there's like a free chart area. If I remember, I'll put the instructions down below, but it's really simple. If you go to them, you can do like a birth chart, and it'll tell you what sign your moon is in. And then look in to see what your moon sign is doing during this time, because it is bringing you some information and some guidance that you're searching for. But definitely, it's also about this wonderful place of getting in tune with your intuition, in tune with your higher self, in tune with all those beautiful partners that we had. It mentioned in one of these cards here about that you're surrounded by support, you're surrounded by this beautiful community, and it's the spiritual community. You have your guardian angels and your angels and your spirit guides and your loved ones on the other side, and your ancestors and unicorns and fairies and whatever else you believe is on the other side of these beings of unconditional love and light. You have this amazing connection that you can have with them here. And I don't think I read the number 7 here about the into the unknown here. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah. So let's get into here. It happens as you get older. Sometimes you think you've done things, and then sometimes you think you didn't do things and you did. It's all an adventure. All right, so here it says your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical. Follow it. So definitely what we're talking about with this card here. Moonlight beckons. Come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself, for your alternative perception is especially sharp right now. And you can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. This is a good time to use oracle cards or other systems of divination to gain information. Remember that the language of intuition is a symbolic one. It comes subtly through a hunch, a tingling, a clear sound, or an animal or object crossing your path. Spirit is sending you messages to help you now. Success is yours if you follow the signs. That is beautiful. And if you're not, if you don't have oracle cards and you don't do all that, of course, there's tons of readers out on YouTube. I also do like a weekly by element, also like monthly by individual signs. And so I have different readings that are out there. So if during this time, if you want to check it out, just feel free to do so. I have tons of playlists on my YouTube channel. So if you feel so, look into that. All right, we're also going to move these up here and we're going to expand on these a little bit by pulling some cards here from these Light Seers Tarot. And we're just going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about each of these weeks. And I love that 3 and 3 is 6 and 5 and 1 is 6. So there's a synchronicity about this connection here and about trusting your intuition. Okay, sorry, perfectionist. There we go. All right, Creator, what else do you want our Aquarians to know about that week before? Yeah, so you got the Queen of Cups. Cups is all about the emotions. The Queen of Cups is very much High Priestess energy because she's sitting in her emotions and she's connecting to the higher realms. And in the midst of all that is this Ace of Cups, which the Ace of Cups is about the higher realms because that's where we find the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. We find it inside us and upward. We don't find it on the outside world. So this is very much about kind of making sure to get into your own little space, getting away from all the busyness, all the social media chaos, all those things that are bringing a lot of loud fear noise, and just taking time away, whether it's getting out into nature or wherever it may be. It's definitely this energy of connecting to the higher realms to see things from that higher perspective. So it's totally perfect for all this here. And then what about the week after the new moon? What else would you like our Aquarians to know? Okay. Yeah. Got the Page of Wands. Wands is your fire energy, your spark, your motivation, your inspiration. It's also, for me, because it's the fire element, it is your spiritual side. And what I love is that as you're connecting to this other realm, just your spiritual energy is just going off the charts. Because the page, there's two things with the page. One, pages are messengers. So this is definitely, I think this one even said you're going to get messages from, spirit. And that's what this says. You're getting messages through spirit during this week after. And as you quiet yourself and you're in this, mode of energy here, you are definitely, raising your vibration, raising your frequency to that of unconditional love, joy, peace, and laughter, which is what spirit speaks. That's the frequency that they have the radio station on, right? The talk show of the other side is at that. And if you're in fear and you're in that lower energy, then it's so noisy and staticky you don't hear. So this is telling me that you're doing a wonderful, clearing and quieting of yourself to where you're hearing messages from the other side. And then the page also represents like a child, because pages are the young children-ish, and pages always bring to me this feeling of how we felt as children before we got influenced by all the praise and punishment and all the societal and organized thoughts and even organized religions around our spirituality, all the things that all the gates and all the walls to keep us contained and under control. Before we had all that, as children, we just feel so free in that possibilities are endless and all those things. Well, with wands, our spiritual energy is unbridled as children. In fact, often you hear stories about like little toddlers who point towards the stairs or a doorway or something, and they're like, Aunt Julie, and they're like, what? They don't, Aunt Julie passed away years before they were even born, and we don't talk about her. How did you even know that? And then later you're looking through a photo album and they walk up and they're like, oh, Aunt Julie. And they point out a picture and that's Aunt Julie. And you're like, oh my God. And because it's like that connection, that we still have such a strong connection coming from the other side, that it's suppressed and pushed down and turned down by our growth into human children, because the people are taught, no, we don't talk about that stuff, and people are going to think you're crazy, or all these other rules and regulations come in that lower our energy. But this is returning back to that beautiful connection. And don't worry, if you don't want to see dead people, if you don't want to hear them audibly, you just want to feel them, they know they're not going to do something to freak you out. They're beings of unconditional love. So they'll bring you messages in ways that you're comfortable with, not in those other ways. So, and then the week, 2 weeks after the new moon, what do you want them to know about this, please? Okay. Yep, then you have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is a lot about, this is alone in your garden, feeling fruitful and abundant, feeling grateful. And then you have your messengers here as well that are showing you the things that are beneficial, the things that are ripe to pick. They guide you. And so this is about listening to those messages that you're receiving. Because, I think this even talked about it. You trust your gut because those feelings that you have are going to be what's best. Because it's like you're reaching for this one and the brain probably says, well, why aren't you getting these bigger ones? Grab those, but these aren't ripe yet. Even though they're big, they're still not ripe on the inside. This one is ripe for the picking and it will be delicious. The other one will be bitter if you bit into that, as an example. All right, I'm loving this. This is going to be beautiful, just awareness time for you. And then we're going to pick a couple cards from the Clarity deck, from the Girls Gone Happy deck. And I just love that Girls Gone Happy. And as I've been saying, in each and every reading that I've done with these, whether you identify as a girl, a boy, or anything in between or outside of that, we can all be girls gone happy. I am a firm believer in that, because happiness is a choice, right? All right. Let's shuffle this up. Creator, what final message do you have? Okay, I feel like that one. And what else for our aquas? Nope. Okay. Whoa. Nope, they said not those. I'm just getting a little Butterfingers. Okay. Okay. So this is the one there. All right, so the first card is Inner Child. If little you could be here now, how would they feel about the situation? What would they tell you to do? And I love that because number one, it talks about feelings like this card does, but also with this page we talked about here, you know, it's about your inner child, your small child. What would they tell you? And they would tell you, trust your voices, trust these voices. So I'm just gonna move this right here. And then your other one, your topic card is love, which makes total sense, right? Because here's that Ace of Cups there, which is the chalice, the Holy Grail that's filled with the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. So yeah, definitely getting in tune with the love energy that is just pouring into you. And this is so perfect for this new moon, because love is the answer to every question. Because every moment is either you're experiencing unconditional love or a cry for unconditional love. And what that looks like for inside us is if we're crying out for unconditional love, we're out here being disappointed, trying to fill ourselves up with all these conditional love that we find in the external world. And how it looks for other people that are crying out, you'll see it as anger, you'll see it as war, you'll see it as sadness. All that emotions of fear are a cry for unconditional love, because everyone has the same dream, everyone has the same goal, which is to be loved and acceptable. And that's the journey that we're all on. And so if in the moment you're not feeling unconditional love, then you can ask yourself, what am I fearing? What am I trying to control? What am I trying to fix? But I love this question for your inner child. What would they have to say to you right now? What emotion? Yeah, little you could be here. How would they feel about this situation, and what would they tell you to do? So definitely something to ponder if you so wish to do so. And just know as you go throughout this new moon phase here that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. We'll talk to you very soon, I'm sure. Until then, have an amazing new moon phase. You take care.